I'm keeping that in.
But I covered my mouth. You'd edit things into
That'd be great.
it. It would be.
I'll edit a thumbnail for that.
Welcome back to another episode of Desire to Inspire, your mama's favorite podcast. Dylan, I don't know whose outfit looks better. I thought I was going to come in looking good, but damn, brother, that shirt looks good, baby.
Dude, every time you come on here looking fucking dressed up, I realize that I only wear t-shirts on this podcast.
Yep, t-shirts and sweatshirts in the wintertime.
I have some dress clothes back in Denver, and we're only 2 weeks away from that journey on home. So maybe
Time
I'll
flies,
step
man.
up my game. Dude, honestly, I mean, granted, we're 2 weeks earlier going home than we were supposed to be, but it's still fucking wild.
Yeah, it's still early, and that just goes to show you how quick you can change your life, man. I know that you had an end date, but things happen. Life can change quick. Stop being in your head and go and fucking do it and accomplish things you want to.
I'm actually super excited to go home. Like, I'm ready.
Well, that's good. I might clip this and put how that you said that you might stay out there and that you liked it so much.
I mean, I could see myself coming back eventually, but it probably wouldn't be like a long-term play. I could definitely see myself here for like the winter, because like when we were here in January, way more bearable. It is
Okay.
like
Yeah, it's hot.
I can't even go for a walk, dude.
Dude,
I
it's
can't.
107 here today in Texas.
Oh shit, for real? That's about what it is here. So
Yeah, 105 my computer says, but the car earlier said 107.
it actually probably feels hotter for you too, because y'all are more humid than we are.
Yeah. It's no joke, but hey, we get a little extra sweat in.
I can't even run. That's
No.
really getting like, not that I'm really wanting to run right now, but I would like to go out every once in a while, throw like 2 miles in here and there,
Yep.
but I can't even do it. Like, I'm not getting up at 6 a.m. to run. Well, I guess I'm up, but I'm not going to run. I'm busy.
Yeah, Lauren's been getting on her like off day. She goes and runs outside for like 7 o'clock or something like that before the heat, because it's already 85 degrees when we wake up.
Yep, it's about 95 here, and I'm up at 5 a.m. Yeah, man.
What you got, man?
I got something for you. So I actually saw this post a few weeks back, but I've been holding it. I feel like we actually haven't podcasted in a while.
Mm-mm.
And this is my favorite thing to do. Like, around the brand, I like doing this more. I like training people, honestly.
Yeah.
If I could just be a podcast host, I would do it.
It's going to happen, brother. We're speaking all
I
this
know
shit into existence.
I know it's going to happen.
Yep.
But it's just a matter of when. But anyway, I found this post, and most people probably wouldn't think that it resonates with the podcast we do here, but I immediately like pulled something from it. So anyway, and it's kind of sexist, bro. It comes straight at men's necks, and I don't like that. It says, men will watch a sports game. Immediately after, watch all the highlights on said game. The next day, we'll watch 4 different shows and listen to 3 different podcasts analyzing and giving opinions on the game. And this is for every single game. And so I'm not this way. I don't know if you're that. I'm just not. I've never really been like huge into sports. I watch them and like I have my teams, but like I'm not the guy who fucking watches all these shows. But I would say there's a huge population of people,
big demographic,
men and women though,
who
do this type of stuff. But I was thinking, like, what if like you took that same energy and you applied it to your life? Like, what if you really analyze like the wins, the losses, like where can I improve? Where did I fall short? Because it's not like they just do this for like taking L's. You know what I mean? Like you look at the wins and you think like, okay, yeah, like we won this game, but what could I have done better?
Yep. Brother.
And so, yeah.
Oh, this is good. And see, this is what I love about just like fucking people, is because I would never, thinking where you were going with that, I would have never known. So I would have interpreted it a way different way or like route to take it. And so this is what I love about people. And this is why I love meeting new people, because we all think of things differently and we can correlate it to a different aspect of life. And so this is great. I'm happy you brought this up, because this is actually something kind of along the lines of what's been going through my head a lot lately. But keep going. I'm excited.
No, I mean, that was really all I have. It's just a broad talking point though. And I just don't understand, like, and even like you could take it a step further and say like people say they don't have time to work on themselves, yet you have time to watch hours and hours of content around one game. And then you do that for, let's just take football on the lower end, 16 weeks. 16 weeks is 4 months, bro. And that's like, there's people who do it for basketball, which runs 3 times a week, baseball, which is running fucking God knows how long. Like people
Yeah.
really like take so much time and invest it in other other people essentially. Like you have no control over this game. You have no control over who gets traded, like any of it. And you put so
Yep.
much energy into it. Like imagine if you took a tiny bit of that energy and invested into yourself and like analyzed your own life and like the own things like that you have going on in that same way, dude.
Yep. Yep. I'm looking at something because my post that's going to be coming out for the newsletter this week is changing your mindset can change your life. And
Mm-hmm.
so, how that in my mind relates to this topic is that the game that we're playing, our life, the game is dictated by all what's in here and what's in here. And I think a lot of people get so caught up on what's around here that they forget. And so imagine take a football team and say that they took all season to worry about some other outside factor, or like golf, say golf. Golf has
Yeah.
now this live league. And so now they could be thinking like, oh my gosh, there's competition, blah, blah, blah. But instead they're working on them. They're retaining the players. There's players making their own decisions. But where I'm going with this is
I kind of want to
there's
jump into this golf discussion now.
we could in a
But
minute.
go, yeah, let's finish this up first and we'll wrap it up with something light.
All right. But where I'm going with that is that what you can control starts and ends with you, obviously. And so the team
Yeah.
works together to make sure that they hit one end goal, and that's winning. But you have to go back and you have to analyze that win and be like, what did we do different? What could we have done different to win even more? Or what could we have done different to, you know, whatever the situation is. And so whether that's scoring more, whether that's tackling more, whether that's, there's all different areas. And so say, for instance, I have 5 things that are on my plate. How can I analyze those to make sure they get done instead of pushing them off? Our life is dictated and analyzed by so much outside factors now because there's so many things coming at us on social media and the internet that we forget to stay grounded with who we are. What do we have to do to accomplish our day? What do we have to do to keep ourselves happy? Instead of thinking about all of our competition around us and how can we proceed forward, because we get so caught up in the day-to-day actions of other people or other things that we're thinking we aren't keeping up with the Joneses and being successful because I'm 27 and I don't have this, or 30 is approaching and I don't have this, or oh my God, I'm 30 and I'm supposed to be married in a relationship. Like, who the fuck makes the standards? You make your own standards. Your path
Yeah.
isn't the same as mine. Mine's not the same as yours. And nobody goes down the same road. It's just like if something happens to you. I actually have a quote that I wrote in here today for our Instagram post that I want to post here soon. And it says, start telling your story. Someone is out there struggling and needs to hear and needs to know that there is hope out there. And so you play, it's just like playing one team 1 year and playing them again. Things change. And so you got to tell yourself, you got to bring in outside factors, and that's bringing in new players, that's bringing in new coaches. So that way you can adjust and maintain. Well, you're your coach, you're your staff, you're your people. So what are you going to do? I come to you for advice so that way it can make me better because I look up to you. I use your dad, I use my mom, I use my grandparents to all be that outside factor that's going to keep me going in life to make the best decisions, to be smart, to be the happiest, instead of dwelling on all of the shit that could have been or should have been, or why not this?
Yeah, I think that like a lot of times, like when people do fail or like they do stumble or like they make this mistake, they don't even want to like think about it. It's like, oh, how can I cope? How can I push this like out of my mind completely? Like I don't
What
even
can I
want to think
blame?
about it. That's a good one too. Like I fucked up, but you know what? We're not going to worry about it. Like, well, let's just go get drunk. Like, no, like why don't we sit down and like look at like, okay, why did I fuck up? How could I have done things differently? And how am I going to do them differently moving forward? Like, sure, that same situation may never come up, but you're going to struggle again. Like, that's
Yep.
inevitable. We're all going to do it. So, like, why don't you make some kind of an effective game plan now so that the next time you don't have to be in the same predicament?
Yeah.
It just doesn't make any sense to me. Like, these people are literally watching film of every single game. Like, there's a reason that they do that. Like, there's a reason that they're the best in the world at what they do. And if you want to be the best in the world at what you do, you're going to have to get real fucking critical about what you do and why you do it the way you do it.
Yeah. It's like there's so many people that just, I hate saying there's so many people, but
There
the
are,
world, yeah, there's so many people that I talk to personally, and they're like, I want this, I want that, I want to achieve it, I want all this, blah, blah, blah. And then 4 weeks later, they're still in the same habits, the same
because
routine.
the
They're not
problem is that
changing
they
nothing.
don't want it, dude. They don't want it. They
They
want
want
to
it
say
because
they
that's
want
what,
it, and they
yeah.
want other people to perceive them as someone who wants these things. If they really wanted it, they would make it a priority and they would put the fucking work in. But they
Yep.
don't want it. They want to be perceived as somebody who's chasing something bigger than themselves. But the thing is, like, it's okay to not want it. No one's saying you have to want it. Like, I don't care if your dream is to fucking, I don't even know, dude. Like, if you are content and happy working at fucking McDonald's for the rest of your life, more power to you. Like, I'm not here to tell anybody, like, you need to do this, you need to do that. But, like, don't sit here and do that and say that you want more, but not work for more. Because then you don't fucking want it. If you wanted it, you would go work for it.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about priorities at the end of the day.
Yeah. And it's about putting, as I always preach, the action behind the plan. So your plan can be to get 1,000 followers on TikTok, $1 million in your career, buy your first rental property, whatever it is. But people think that manifesting or talking about it is actually going to happen, and nothing can change in your life if you don't change your life. And so you have to put action behind those changes that you want in order to see results. So for instance, like my goal right now is to stay on track with the things that I want to progress DTI, to progress in my personal life, to progress mentally, to progress physically, to the point where I made an Excel file. And you keep yelling at me that or telling me like, you haven't shared it.
I just want to see it.
Yeah, it's nothing major, but what it does is it allows me to sit at the end of the day, and I started like grading myself every single day. And so say one day, like on Monday, say I have 10 tasks that I want to do, that I definitely want to check off, that I need to focus on in order to reach this end goal, for what I have for just say the next 5 months, to hit the numbers, to hit the mindset, whatever it is. And so Tuesday's different, Wednesday's different, but there's a pattern in all of those days. And every single time I check one of those things off, even if it's to drink a gallon of water, I'll go in there and I'll put it green. If I don't hit it at the end of the day, like posting on Facebook, I haven't been doing that as much, like I told you. I go in there and I make it red. And then I can see at the end of the day, like, okay, I could have improved on this. I could have improved on that. I'm a week into it. I started it last Monday. And I'm already noticing a pattern of how I can get better. And so I'm putting cognitive actions behind it. I think that's the right usage, maybe. Is it?
We'll go with it.
All right, I'll look back and I'll make fun of myself because it's probably not right. But anyways, I'm keeping these things aware because I know that's what it's going to take to get to the next step of where I want to go. Because I don't want to look back in 2 months and be like, fuck, I could have done this, or I could have done that, or I should have focused on this. Because that would be cool if we could create something where you take every quarter of the year. So every 4 months, you look back and it's all of the things that you said that you wanted to accomplish, or all the things that you said you wanted to have done. And you get like a time lapse of what you actually did. And you know how many people would look at that time lapse and be like, holy fuck.
What the fuck did I do with my time?
I spent this much time on social media. I spent this much money on online shopping, even though I said that I wanted to quit because my credit cards are going up or because my bank account's not where I want it to be. Oh my God, I didn't use any, I used this much time working out. I thought I worked out way more than that. Oh my gosh, I didn't call my grandma and see how she's doing in the last 3 months. Like whatever that is, if we could create a time lapse where people could look back, I think there'd be a lot of people disappointed in themselves and actually light a spark under their ass that they need in order to go and achieve those things. Because it doesn't matter what situation you're in. It starts with a plan. And if there's no action behind that, nothing's going to happen. That's a dream, and dreams don't come true when you're just fucking laying there or sitting there. And I think it's the same thing with, and you know, if we were bigger, I think this would get backlash, but I truly believe that it's even the same. Well, not that, but I truly believe it's the same thing with, mental health. And I feel like mental health is one of those things where somebody has so much ambition and drive that they want to accomplish things, but there's so much internally that's weighing on them. So that way they can't achieve it. And people who haven't went through mental health don't understand that your brain during that time tells you to not do something that you need to do. Your brain tells you to not go out on the walk. Your brain tells you to stay on the couch. Your brain tells you to not cook dinner, go out and eat. Your brain tells you to spend the money on something online because it's going to make you feel better.
And all those things are literally making you feel worse.
Yeah.
And it's going to push you deeper and deeper, dude.
Yep. And so all of those things add up, and it's hard to see through that But going down that path of when I was at my lowest of lows, going and pushing myself, and mine was the gym, my therapy, going every single day and just facing those demons head on kept my mind distracted. And the only way that you can keep your mind distracted is if you're doing something. And so, for instance, take your dog on a walk. Now you're getting out of the house. Now you're thinking, oh, I got to put my dog's leash on. Oh, I got to open the door. I got to close it. All right, we're going to walk to the beach. And then we're going to walk back. We're going to go to the store and we're going to pick out 3 meals to make. Now you're looking at recipes. Your recipes are keeping your mind off of the mental health, because now you got to be like, okay, I got to get butter. I got to get eggs. I got to get oil. All right, now I got to come home. I got to get the crock pot. And so it's the same thing. Like, get off the couch, take a shower, clear your mind, meditate, whatever it is. You're keeping your mind busy for that many more seconds that you weren't prior to it. And so my belief with mental health is that you have to do all of the things your body and your mind is telling you not to, no matter how fucking hard it is, or else you're never going to be able to get over that mountain. And for everybody, it looks different. For me, my journey is way different than other people I know that are suffering right now or going through that. But every second that you can keep your mind busy on a task, it takes away from that mental health to step in, or that anxiety, that depression to step in and be like, hey, I'm here. And so you might be doing something, it might be coming, but it's like, fuck that. I don't have this. I don't have that. Don't relate to it. It's hard because it's there and you know it's there, but tell yourself today's going to be a great day. Every single time you get a bad thought in your head, say the reverse. Start manifesting, write things down on the board. Start doing things that you're uncomfortable with. When something happens, drop down and do push-ups, whatever it is. I don't know what everybody's solution is, but keep your mind busy. Do the things that your mind's telling you don't want to do, because that is what's going to bring you out of the rut, to essentially wrap it all back up, to be to get
it's
the
basically
win for
reprogram. Yeah, I was literally gonna say. So it's like reprogramming your brain, and like it doesn't even have to be a win for the day, to kind of like backtrack and connect it together. Like the thing that you said about like your checklist, where like you make it red and green. That was honestly like the biggest thing that pushed me through 75 hard, was that I could physically see check, is it done? And so like if you take that and you apply it to your life as you're doing, that's not even winning the day. It's like, finish my gallon of water. There's a win. Like mentally, you are storing that as it's green. I just won. Like I completed something. Like I accomplished something. It doesn't have to be anything huge. Like drinking water. Like you can literally do that throughout the day. And like you don't even have to go for a gallon. If you're not drinking anything right now, shoot for half a gallon. Shoot for 3 cups. Like I don't fucking know where you're at, but whatever it is, like just set things that are a little bit farther than you're doing now, and check them off every day. Boom, boom, boom. And it's just, you're stacking wins, and like that momentum is going to compound.
Yeah. And two, it could be one of those things where like, okay, instead of having a half gallon of water sit on my desk, I know that I need to get up and get more steps in. So I'm going to use a DTI shaker bottle, because I know that I'm going to have to go to the fridge and fill it up 6 times. So now I'm getting steps in. I'm stepping away from
whatever
I'm
6?
doing. Yeah.
Oh, wow. I might be at 2 gallons a day, bro.
But yeah, I say all this because I don't ever preach something that I haven't seen work for me, or I haven't actually been a part of. And so like I bring up taking a dog for a walk. Like I take Decker for walks. A lot of people don't know that like if we go on a walk, it's doing a lot for me up here. Instead of driving to get my pants tailored, I walked to the tailor, because I knew that I like could get music in, or a podcast, or these audiobooks that I've been listening to. And so everything I say correlates to something that I've done, or something that I know works for somebody, or has worked for somebody else in my life. And so at the end of the day, like you said, man, it's all about how are you going to win each day. For us, the season is 365 days. The season doesn't stop. We got to work 24/7.
Yeah, we don't get an off season.
We don't get an off season. We don't get a timeout.
In the off season, them motherfuckers are still working. Like, if you want to be the best, you gotta have that same mentality, man.
Yep. And that's the same thing with
whatever you want it to mean. Like I'm not I'm not out here to tell anybody what they need to do, but like the best for you. Like what is the best you, and what does that look like?
Yep. And that's working on you 365 days, and know that some days the days are going to win and you're going to take that loss. But it's like same thing with my checklist. How can I do better? What can I focus on? Why didn't I do that? Yesterday I got home from going on a walk, talking to some people on the phone, just catching up, got back, and I easily could have sat because Yeah, I was in the office yesterday too. So like I couldn't do a lot of the things that I could take 10 minutes to do throughout the day.
Yeah.
So I got home, and instead of not doing some things for DTI, I was like, you know what? Let me take 20 minutes to do these real quick. Boom, knocked them out. Now I could enter the numbers in, I could check it off, and I'm good to go. And so it's just whenever you're telling yourself don't do something, or whenever you're telling yourself, oh, I'm too tired, or I can't, or there's so much on my mind, do it, because you're distracting your mind when you do those things to be able to fight through to the next task, to the next day, to the next minute, whatever it is. And just fight every day. So that way you can get that W, and understand if you take an L, it's okay. You can bounce back, and it's not the end of the world.
We all take them. Like at the end of the day, like everybody you know had to start at some low point and work their way up, and they're still taking L's. They're just taking them in private because the wins are going to outweigh the losses eventually.
Yep. And sometimes praise the losses, own up to it, tell people about it. Because like I said earlier, there's somebody else out there that's struggling. Tell your fucking story and help them out. You went through it and you know how hard it was. You don't want somebody else to go through that, especially someone you care. So talk about your fucking losses, talk about your past, talk about your future, talk about your dreams, talk about that shit, because you're motivating somebody else out there to push through those hard days like we all struggle with, that we all go through. And you don't know how much it can influence them, and you don't know what it could do for them to be able to live their best, happiest life and to accomplish that W every day.
That was the whole reason that I even discussed not doing the Ironman anymore. Because like in my head, that was a loss. It was me throwing in the towel, me quitting. But like if I would just sweep it under the rug and never speak about it again, what is that going to do? Like nothing at all.
Yep.
So just be open, because somebody out there struggling with similar shit. Sure, it's not 100%. Like somebody's going through the same shit of quitting something that they've committed to or whatever it is.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nope.
That's all I got.
That's all I got, man. Hey, you guys know the deal. Have the desire to inspire, and realize that life's not fucking easy. It's not easy for anybody. I know we can get this perceived notion that everybody has it going on. But that person that you look up to is struggling, and they're looking up to somebody else, and that person's struggling. And so just realize that this is a journey that we're all on together, but we just fight different battles. And so don't let it weigh on you, because it's just a learning experience, no matter how deep or dark it is. And you can always get better. So the people closest to you will appreciate you owning up to things and realizing it. But what they can't get behind it is dwelling on it or keeping it hidden, and it affects you to the point where you just wither away to nothing. And so live your best, truest life, stay happy, and the people that you have around you will stay with you and support you. And the people that don't, give them the bird, desire to inspire, baby.
Hey, before we go,
Let's
we
hear
got
it.
a few mediums and larges left. So
Literally
hit the
just
link
a few.
below.
There's not many.
Like a handful.
Yeah.
And that's both combined.
Mhm.
So this comes out Friday. Yeah. So you might as well go try to snag one while you can. $30. Link below. Go get it, bitch.
Go get it, ho.